Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Business Pros webinar. We're going to be talking about time management strategies for business owners. Now, this is something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about in terms of the kinds of tools that you can use and the ways that you can organize your day so that you're really bringing the team in and making sure everybody's on the same page, but also making the most out of the time that you've got. So, a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about. So first we're going to be talking about strategies that don't work. A lot of people kind of fall into routines that are not ideal and that kind of really hurt productivity and don't get as much, don't help you in the ways that you think that they do. So I'm going to be identifying some of those things so you can kind of start fresh and know where you stand. Then we're going to be talking about the tools themselves and what I recommend that you guys use in terms of actually organizing your tasks and to-dos and calendars and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll dive into the strategy behind them. And then finally, I'll talk about how you can bring your team into this process and make sure that everybody's on the same page in the office so that everybody knows what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. So let's dive right into the strategies that don't work first off. The first thing that I want to talk about is planning your day in the morning. So if you're planning your day in the morning, that means that you've already kind of gotten a couple things done. And that means that there has been time that you really haven't planned for and maybe didn't really have some strategy behind. So a lot of people sometimes don't plan their day until like 9 or 10 in the morning. At which point everybody's already in the office and things have already gotten started. So planning your day in the morning is not a good strategy to really get started with your day. So plan your stuff either a day in advance or even a couple of days in advance, and I'll show you how you can do that with the tools that we're going to talk about. The next one is not maintaining an easy to-do list. There are a lot of bad to-do lists out there, and in fact, I hesitate to call what we're going to be working with today a to-do list. It's more of a to-do system. So this is the concept of this list is not a good thing because you need to have some kind of connection between your calendar and everybody who's all the stakeholders in those tasks themselves. So that was the next thing, actually, having a disconnect between that list and your calendar. When you have a task, odds are that there's a due date with that task. There's a deadline for it, and a lot of people think about their tasks and their calendar as separate entities when they're actually very related. There's always going to be some kind of time commitment that you're going to be putting toward a task, which should be part of your calendar. You should really plan ahead for that. Next and final one is managing your time in isolation. So if you have your own schedule that you follow, that's awesome. But to the extent that what you're doing relates to the people in your office and the kinds of things that need to get done around the office, you need to share that information with your staff, with your employees, so that they are on the same page. They know when to come into your office and have a conversation and talk about either finance or back office systems or whatever that is, upcoming events, and when you need to kind of dive in and do the either managerial stuff or when you're going to obviously be seeing patients. So when your team is involved with those kinds of decisions and those kinds of tasks, then you can more easily delegate, number one, but also have better communication among the members of your team so that more gets done in less time. All right, so why don't we dive into the tools that I'm going to be talking about. There are only two here, but they're very, very powerful when you put them together. The first is Google Calendar. So some of you may be familiar with it, others maybe not, but I'll give you guys a quick tutorial of it. And the next one is Trello, and Trello is what we're going to be using for this to-do system in terms of listing tasks and assigning it to people and managing any kind of process in the office. So let's take a look at Google Calendar. This is a quick screenshot of what the general interface looks like, and I'll jump off of the I will jump off the screen share for 1 second and show you exactly. All right, so we got that. So this is basically a dummy calendar. So when you are in Google Calendar here, this is what it'll look like when you just sign up. if you guys have been using it, obviously you need to know how to use it. But quick tutorial is you can click anywhere in the calendar itself. It'll create a new event. You can say a test event. Press enter. It'll automatically create it. You can then click inside the event, click edit, and you have all these different details that you can set. So you can add guests and invite people. You can set locations, descriptions. You can add a video call, which means people who are added to the guest list will be sent a video invite. It's a very, very flexible platform, and something that one of the main benefits of which, so you're going to see this mirror effect here for a second. One of the main benefits of which is that you can actually share your calendar with other people. So when you create new events, for example, you can invite people to view that calendar and add and edit it, or just view it as well. So multiple people can work off of the same calendar. So you can invite your staff. Everybody can see what's going on in the office. You can have this main company calendar where everything happens. All of your events are in there. All of any kind of staff outings or end-of-day procedures, anything that you really want to put in there, you can put in there with any details, and everybody will see them. So this is a very, very powerful tool. The next benefit of Google Calendar is that you can have integrations with a lot of other productivity apps, such as Trello, which we'll talk about in a second, and any other scheduling-related service out there. They'll all integrate into Google Calendar just because it's so pervasive and used so widely. The next one is easy to sync with your phone and tablets. So you can basically go on your iPhone or Android and either use the native calendar app on your phone to sync your events and everything that's on your calendar, or you can actually download a Google Calendar app that Google makes. The final ones are email and pop-up reminders and invitations. I talked about the invitations just a second ago, but the email and pop-up reminders are very, very helpful. So you can set an event to remind you as far in advance as you want of an actual event, or you can have a pop-up reminder on your screen a couple minutes before any kind of appointment. So if you've got off hours patient, you can have that pop up on your computer, so you know to expect them, or if they don't show up, to give them a call. So those are the benefits of Google Calendar, and I couldn't recommend any other calendar app more highly, just because the technology is so pervasive. Everybody really uses it. It's been tested. There are no bugs, so I recommend that you guys use this for your office and for personal use. The next tool is Trello, and I'll give you a quick screenshot here. It's blurred out just because this is the main Synduit, Trello. So this is what it looks like when it's in full force and everybody's using it. And I will jump out of here and show you exactly how to start an account. So 1 second. All right, so we're on the Trello main page here. It's www.trello.com, and this is a totally free service. So you can sign up. All you need is your name and email. Create new account. All right, so this is what it looks like when you just get started. The way that it's organized is that you have what are called boards, and I would recommend just starting with one board. A board is where you can invite people and have as many tasks as you want organized however you want them to be organized. So if I click into this board, it'll open up, and they pre-populate a couple of different ones here. What these are, these columns here, these are lists, and every list contains cards or tasks for, in more, relatable terms. Every one of these little, items that I'm dragging around here, those are tasks, and you can click into them and have all of these different functions, which I'll go over in a second, to actually either assign yourself or assign other people in the office. So I'm going to jump back into the presentation here, get the mirror effect, so don't go vertigo on me. Here we go. All right. So Trello is basically, this is going to be your task management system. And we'll talk about how the Google Calendar and Trello relate in a second. But just as a quick reminder, recap what I just explained, it's organized on 3 levels: boards, lists, and cards. And for your company, what I would recommend is just having one company board and one list for every employee in the company, and then one list for every department in the company. And tasks are put into each of those lists according to who's responsible for what's coming up, and you can move things in between lists. So if you suddenly decide that that Jane is responsible for getting the invite sent out for an upcoming event instead of Carol, then you can drag that that task from Carol's list into Jane's list. And similarly, if you need somebody in the back office to start handling some finance tasks, then you can move a task from the finance list into one of the individuals, one of the employees' lists. So it's very, very easy to use. All you have to do is click and start typing and hit enter in order to create a new task. And one of the best things that you can do is to set due dates and use some of the functions on the cards or tasks themselves so that people know what needs to be done and when. So everybody who's part of this board, of this company board, sees what they're responsible for and sees what other people are responsible for. So it's very, very easy to use, transparent, and functional. So you'll know when something's past due and it hasn't been done. When things are finished up, then you can archive the cards themselves. So this is a good point at which I can start talking about bringing the team in. So once you've set that up, it should probably take 10 minutes if you don't already have a Trello or Google Calendar accounts. What I want you guys to do is just maintain that regular Google Calendar. Have a company-wide calendar that everything's on, and share it with your staff. Odds are that they have a Google account, so you just send it to their email address, and they'll receive that invitation. They can view it, and you can choose whether or not they can, have editing rights. Then invite them to Trello. Once again, it is free, and you can use that to actually assign people tasks. So you'll see basically on the right of the screen in Trello who's part of your organization. I can share the screen for you. 1 second. So over here, you can see that it says members here. All of your employees will actually appear here, and you can add them simply by just typing in their name or email address, and they'll be sent an invite, and they'll immediately have access to this whole dashboard. So they can start going in and creating a list for themselves. So we'll say that I just created a new list called Dan's list, and this is task 1. So that's all I have to do to create a task. I can move it into somebody else's list or a department's list. I can click in here and actually set a checklist for things that need to be done. So item 1, item 2, item 3, and then I can come back later and actually complete them. So it'll tell me exactly how far along I am. And you can see this for any of your staff members. You can assign labels to it and change label names. So this could be either done. The yellow could be in progress. So you can tell that this is very, very flexible, and you can either use or not use any of these functions. The most important one I would say is having a due date for these tasks. So if I set this for tomorrow, save it, and you can set the time as well. When I click back into here, you can see the timer icon, September 5th, and the progress that I'm making through this task. So it's very transparent. You can kind of just look at anybody's list and see how far they are in any kind of task that they're working on. But what I would say the most important part, 1 second guys, you're going to have some vertigo. I would say the most important part is that you connect your Trello to your Google Calendar. So what you can do for that is one of 2 things. The first is that you can use what Trello calls a power-up. And what a power-up is in the corner of Trello. I'll show you in a second. In the corner of Trello, you can click the menu icon and enable the calendar power-up, which means it'll give you a link to add your Trello tasks and any tasks that actually have due dates to your office's group calendar. So that's one way that you can have it just live update and keep it, synced all the time. Now that means that everybody's tasks in the group which have due dates will show up in the calendar, so it'll all be there in one place. The second way that you can do this is to manually create items or events in your Google Calendar based on what tasks you create. That's a manual job. I wouldn't recommend it for you guys' purposes. So let me show you that really quickly. And okay, so we're back in here. So what I was talking about in the corner of Trello here, you see this menu and the power-ups option right here. You click that, and you have the calendar here. You enable the calendar power-up, and then you want to enable the iCalendar feed. All right? And once you click that, this little window will pop up here. It says your personal iCalendar feed. You want to double-click that and copy it. And once you have that copied, you can go back to your Google Calendar, and then on the left here, you want to click Other Calendars and this little arrow, right? And then select Add by URL, paste in the URL section, and Add Calendar. And now all of the tasks that I basically have created in Trello will appear in the Google Calendar. So you see that the task that I created for Friday at 12 p.m. Is right there. So anything that you create in Trello will automatically show up in your calendar, so anybody who's looking at the calendar can see exactly what needs to get done by what time. This is a very, very powerful tool, especially when you're using them together. And I recommend that you guys really take a look at this and start implementing this into your office immediately, because it will save you guys time. And if you give some thought really at the beginning of every week, maybe every Monday during your staff meeting or whenever you hold it, tell everybody what needs to get done for the week, figure out what their goals are for the week, put it all in Trello, set due dates, and then it'll be in the calendar ready for people to look at, knock off their to-do lists, and start getting some real productivity done. So that is the time management strategy that I recommend for all of you guys. And when you tie those two services in together, you are basically getting the best of both worlds from a calendar standpoint, which is scheduling, as well as a task standpoint. So you don't have to all the way go into Google Calendar whenever there's a new task that needs to get done, because that's just they're individual, they're different entities. So if you don't know how long the task is going to take, you just need it to get done at some point this week. That's where Trello comes in, and having them tied in together like that really smoothly will really help your office out. So if you guys have any questions, please shoot them my way at bizpros@syndoit.com. That's BIZPROS at syndoit.com. And this is Dan Russell. Hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to the next broadcast. See you guys later.